Ethan, how you doing?
Hello, Peter.
Good. Come on. How you doing? How you been? Welcome. Have a seat. So, how's your day coming along so far?
So far, pretty good.
Oh, good. Now, you know what? Before we go in any further conversation, just want to let you know that everything that is said in my office will remain confidential. Whatever is said in here will stay in here. I'm not going to share anything out. However, I do have some rules that we have to follow by. If it comes to a case where you're trying to hurt yourself or you're trying to hurt others, and I do have to report it. So I just want to let you know. Okay? But other than that, whatever's said in here will stay here. But if it comes to a point, as I mentioned, that you want to hurt yourself, you want to hurt others, I'm gonna have to, and report it.
Okay.
I'm here to help you out. My job as a counselor is to help you out. My job is also to come up with different strategies or plans that will help you out towards your careers or college or any other plans or challenges that you may be facing.
Okay.
So just thought I'd let you know. So anyways, thank you for coming. So how's your day coming along so far?
Yeah, good.
Great. Anything new that you have going on today?
No, pretty boring.
Well, yeah, it is a rainy day outside. Right?
Yeah.
That's great. So how's school coming along?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Anything that you got going on for
Mm,
college or anything? How are things coming along so far?
I already did the financial aid already,
Oh, great.
and I applied for 3 different schools, and I got accepted into all of them, so I don't know which one to choose.
Which ones did you apply for?
Stanford.
Wow,
UC
Stanford.
yeah.
Wow, that's
Um,
one of the number one private colleges here.
Yeah.
It's known nationwide.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's great. What other ones?
Fresno State was the other one,
Okay,
and then UCLA.
UCLA. Okay, so you have CSU,
Mhm.
which is Fresno State. Then you have UC, which is UCLA, and then you have a private
Mhm.
college, which is Stanford University.
Yeah.
Well, number one, let me just start by congratulating you, because getting accepted to Stanford University, that's great. Because I'm pretty sure you saw when you were going through their college application, or were looking into it, and I do remember that we were talking about this a
Mhm.
while back ago. But their requirements are, they have high expectations
Yeah.
for enrollment. So just to let you know, you were competing with other kids, not only statewide, but nationwide and worldwide also.
Yeah.
So your GPA was magnificent, great. You had a 4.3 GPA, and that's really great. And you also scored great on both your SAT test and the ACT test.
Mhm.
So that's great also. That's a huge advantage. But not only that, but you've been involved in schools also. So that's also a huge plus. So we are having trouble trying to decide which one you want to go to, right? You have Fresno State, UCLA, and Stanford. They're all great colleges.
Yeah. I mean, they're all here local, but
Yes.
one's closer to home, and the other ones are just like.
Fresno State, we're talking within driving distance, right?
Yeah.
We're talking, like 20 minutes from town, right?
Mhm.
Your UCLA is further down south, and Stanford is up north, that's about a couple hours away.
Yeah.
Now, on cases like this, you wanna take into consideration many things. Because, you got 3 great colleges in your hands now.
Mhm.
But you wanna consider, your major, what major you're gonna major in.
Mhm.
You wanna consider, am I gonna be living on campus, off campus? You wanna take into consideration all those things.
Yeah,
No.
because I was in Fresno State, I can just travel back and forth.
Yeah. But at the same time also, if you're talking Stanford University, you went through all the hard work, you see what I mean, right? And, you don't wanna let none of these opportunities go away neither, right? So you just, this is the point where we have to make, a decision, cause Stanford University with Fresno State and UCLA.
Mhm.
Now let me ask, what do you wanna major in?
Mhm. Probably something medical.
Medical?
I'm not really sure.
CNCC and Stanford University, they are known for having a great medical program, a great one, as well as UCLA, Fresno State also. But UCLA and both Fresno State, UCLA, I'm sorry, and Stanford University, they're ranked at being one of the number one, high colleges.
Yeah, and I want
with
some
the
good football
nursing
too.
program.
That's what I want.
And you want to do football also,
Yeah.
right? Well, that's also one thing to consider, because when you're applying for college, there's two different requirements. You got university requirements, right? And then you have NCAA requirements, right?
Yeah.
And you meet both of them. So you got no problem, playing for Stanford University, and you just finished playing football here.
How
senior
many
year.
How many years do you have to do of college before I can maybe think about going to the NFL, if anything?
Well, it's 4 years. Just like in high school, you got your freshman year, your sophomore, your junior, and then your senior year.
Because I've heard of some people going to the NFL before finishing about 4 years of college.
Well, there has, but they're probably going under as a free agents. But I know the majority of the time, you want to finish up, they expect you to finish up, or play 4 years before they can draft you into the NFL. That's what that is. It's just like in high school. You played high school, you played high school football for 4 years, right? And then you had all these colleges, coming out here looking, watching you play. So it's the same thing, they want to draft you to come and play at their college also. That's how that works also. And it's the same thing with the NFL also. But you always want to have a backup plan, even if you're thinking about going into the NFL. You always want to, work on your career also. You don't want to let it go, because what if I'm not trying to say that it's going to happen, but realistically, this is what happens. We have some, individuals that play in the NFL and only play for 2 or 3 years. Why? Because they end up getting hurt, right? They end up having knee surgery, they break a leg, they break an arm, and so the majority of the time that causes their NFL career, right? So you always want to have a backup plan with you. That's why it's important for you to, focus on your education as well. It's good that you want to play. That's great. You have goals as playing for the NFL, and you want to play, you want to go to college also. So yeah, so I don't know what your thoughts are on this. I don't know if you have,
No, I'll probably just get, I don't know, just as much schooling as I can.
Yes.
That way, at least I have something.
Yes. Yeah.
If it doesn't work out,
Mm-hmm.
they can say, okay, well, at least this guy did this or got this degree or something,
Yeah. Yes.
Even if it's just something as small as an associate's.
Well, at the university level, you're starting out with a bachelor's degree. Because you're going straight into a 4-year college. You're going to start working on your bachelor's degree, which is going to be 4 years. And once you finish that degree in 4 years, then the next level will be graduate level, which is going to be your master's. And if you're planning on going an extra level up higher, then we're talking a doctorate degree or PhD. Yeah, that's usually how it works at this, at the university system. So in your case, you'll be working on your bachelor's degree instead of the AA degree. AA degree will be more like at a community college.
Okay,
But
yeah.
in your case, since you're way advanced academically, you do want to take into consideration any of the colleges that you got accepted into. So going back to the topic that we were talking about, you said you were having a rough time trying to decide which one you want to enroll into, right? Now, did you have this conversation with mom and dad?
Not really. I've just been thinking about it a lot.
Thinking about it, have you been communicating this with your parents also? Or not quite?
They know. They just. It was really brief, told them real fast, and then I had stuff to do.
So that's also one thing you want to consider. You want to stay in communication with your parents also. You want to let them know, what is it that you want to, what are your plans, or you want to let them know, I'm having a difficult decision, on deciding what college do I want to go to, for the fact that, I don't know, UCLA is too far, Stanford is too far, how am I going to pay my living expenses? And do remember, there's financial aid, and I'm sure, since you have great grades, you are going to be getting a lot of scholarships also, which you've been applying for, right? You're going to have financial aid in your hand, and then other than that, with the scholarships that you're going to get awarded also.
Yeah.
So, you will, you're gonna have support in you. You know, don't think that you're just gonna go into college and try to survive on your own. You're gonna have support out there. But just also that just remember that if we're thinking about going into Stanford, you wanna, sorry, I went away. You wanna take into consideration the scholarships also. Apply to as many as you can. Even if they don't correspond to you, you wanna just apply for them. Because usually we'll have individuals that don't apply for it,
Yeah.
and you'll be the only candidate that applies for it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, I did see that you got accepted to the three colleges. So, it's the same thing with UCLA. Because most likely if you do go to UCLA or Stanford, you're gonna live in either most likely at the dorms, right? And that's beneficial. Instead of living off campus, you're better off living on campus at the dorms. You got everything nearby. You got the library there. You got the admissions office there, or if you need to use a computer or anything, you got free Wi-Fi there also.
Yeah.
At Fresno State, well, most likely, since it's within, driving distance, you may either be living with your parents, right, or just living at campus, at their campus also.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you want to consider those things also, but also do communicate with your parents. But if you have these opportunities in your hand, then you wanna, if it's nursing, usually, Stanford is the one that usually recommended between, Fresno State and UCLA. Stanford is the highest grade #1.
Yeah, I think Stanford would be better too, both football wise and
Yeah.
educational.
Yeah, football wise also. Football wise, they have a great program. UCLA, they have a great program, as well as Fresno State also. So now that we're finishing up the second semester, have you been in communication with the admissions office out there?
No, not really.
Okay.
I need
Because
to go.
you already turning up. You already finished up your financial aid already. So you want to give them a call, or I can help you out also, and I can call on your behalf, and we can both be here, or your parents can be here also.
Yeah, I think that'd be better.
And that way, I can talk to your parents also, and I can let them know, okay, this is what's going on with financial aid. They got this financial aid, they're reviewing it, and this is the next step that they're going to take, since we're planning on going to Stanford University.
Yeah, I think that's the one that I'm gonna go with. It just makes more sense.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll also think about it, but as of right now, it's like 80% chance.
80%
That's
chance
where
that's there.
it's gonna go.
Great, yeah, and I'm sure you'll do great out there.
Yeah.
You did great your 4 years of high school here. No, you will be fine. It's very different at a college level, but you'll be fine. As long as you have great communication with your professors there, as long as you're managing your time, as long as you're just doing your homework, you'll be fine. That's what you want to consider also.
Yeah.
Time management, balancing between football, since you're going to be playing football.
Yeah, and then I need to figure out. Yeah, I need to figure out the schedule, when everything is.
Yeah, I want to play Saturdays, right? Because football, usually college football's on Saturdays, or a couple of times they play on Thursdays also, right?
I think they're on Fridays.
On Fridays
Yeah.
or Saturdays. Yeah. So you want to be able to balance that also. But if you're going to play, that'll be at the start of the fall semester. So you want to be in communication with your professors, finish up your homework assignments on time. If you're going to be late to class for X, Y reason, 2 days before, you want to let them know. So you always want to have great communication with them. And then also on your exams also, if you're going to travel out of the state for football, let them know. Am I going to have any, since I'm not going to be here on this day because of football, can I have my assignments, or can I work on my assignments before they're due?
Yeah.
That's always recommended.
That's
Work on the
smart.
assignments before they're due. Don't wait till after. You always want to turn them in before they're due. That would be a huge relief on your behalf.
Yeah, that would not be worried about doing it.
That's great. So great. Now, do you know how many units are you going to be taking?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to overdo it though.
Not over there.
Yeah, just enough to where I'm still moving at a good pace forward. I don't want to be trying to do so much and get stuck, because of all the work.
I know, you're saying it because of football?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to overload.
have it balanced.
So how many classes do you think you'll be able to handle? Because I know practices for football will be in the evenings, right?
Most of them are.
Most of them are in the evenings or in the daytime. And then you get your games also, I believe, Saturdays,
And then we have to travel too.
and then travel out also. So what are you thinking on taking 2 classes, 3 classes? What is your plan for that?
I think 3 is.
Because you know you can come with your own schedule, right?
Yeah.
You can come with your own schedule also. And you can schedule them like if you want to take a class, Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays, or if you want to do Tuesdays and Thursdays, in the mornings or in the evenings, you have the flexibility depending on the when the classes are available.
I think 3 classes is pretty good.
So we're talking more like 9 units. Usually each class is about 3 units, depending. Some are 4, but the majority of them are 3, so that's more like 9 units.
So I'd probably do that during football season,
Mhm.
and then when it ends, then I'll try to do 4 o'clock. There's, more classes I can do, because all my focus will be on school instead of football
Mhm.
at the time.
Mhm.
Once the season ends.
Yeah. Well, that's a smart choice, because I mean, that'll give you, at least during the fall semester, you're gonna focus on taking, just going part-time in school, so you can balance between, academics and then football. But when it comes to the spring semester, then we're talking about taking more classes, right? Like 12 or 15 units. That's great, that's actually a smart choice. And you also got the summer also in case we do, the Stanford University offers summer intersession, you can take a couple of classes out there, or 1 class or 2 classes out there.
Yeah, I'll probably take a couple, because I know during the summer they have a lot of practices.
Yeah, summer camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's great. Well, yeah, that's a good plan. I mean, that's what you always want to consider. You want to balance between academics and sports, because if your academics falls, what's going to happen to football also?
You wouldn't play.
Yeah, because there's eligibility also. You want to maintain great grades there
Yeah.
also. But I mean, that's great. I mean, I'm sure I'll be seeing you playing football, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Live college football on TV. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. So just an FYI, just remember to finish up the school year strong. We're about to reach the end of the semester here at Crescent View South High School, and then you got 1 more semester to go. I know teachers haven't updated grades yet, but how are your grades looking like right now?
So far they were good. Last time I checked, they were doing really, really good.
Oh, A's?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. We want to keep it up like that. That's great. And then also next semester also, you gotta finish up strong.
Yeah.
Mhm. You wanna finish up strong. And also do not forget that you gotta email a copy of your transcripts for this semester to Stanford University.
Yeah.
And then you also gotta send them a copy of the spring semester when you finish the spring semester.
So, we were talking about how I told you I was deciding most likely for Stanford.
Mm.
So what do I have to do to actually finally be enrolled for the whole school-wise?
What else do you do?
Yeah, what do I need to do? Do I need to send in some papers? Do I just let them know I accept?
Well, I'm pretty sure you got an acceptance letter, right?
Mhm.
That they have accepted you to the university.
Mm-hmm.
Now in that case, where you did complete the college application, so now you got just to take into consideration, it's just your grades. You have to email them, or you have to send them a copy of your transcripts for this semester, and you can send them another copy of the last semester, which is the spring semester. And then that'll be that. And then you're also gonna have to be taking a placement test that'll measure your English and then your math skills. So depending on how well you score, or they'll probably take into consideration your SAT scores or your ACT scores. They'll see, okay, this is the level of math that we're gonna put you in, and then the level of English that we're gonna put you in. Because your first 2 years of Stanford, you'll be focusing on your lower division courses, which will be like the English, the science, and the math. And once you finish with with the lower division, then you'll focus on the upper division courses after that.
Okay.
Sounds good. So
Right.
so yeah, just remember. So okay. So you got any other questions for me, Nathan?
No, I think covered most of it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, I wish you the best, and just remember that my doors are always open. Well, I mean, the door was closed, but you're not, but I was over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, Nathan. Well, wish you the very best, and then I'm gonna try to schedule an appointment I'm gonna schedule an appointment with your parents for us to meet. We will call the financial aid office at Sanford University, and then we can have this conversation with your parents as well, so they know what's going on.
Sounds
That's
good.
great. All right, Nathan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck, wish you the very best, and I'll go ahead and walk you out.
Okay.
Alrighty, have a great day today, Nathan.
You too.
Alrighty.
Thanks
No
so
problem.
much.
Thank you.
See you.
See you later.